Well, good morning, and welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. We trust that you are well this glorious Friday. Again, you got to Friday, and as far as we know, because I've been reading the papers. You haven't heard anybody, and I'm glad to hear it. It's a great day. Say it one more time. Every day is a great day. Just some days it's raining. And we got a little rain going here at my house. So if you would pray a little bit for us, if you are the praying type, the Lawson family would truly appreciate it. Lots going on, but there's always lots going on, and that's part of the plan. That's part of, and like I got this mustache hair that just wants to do whatever the heck it wants to do. See, my barber says, gray hair, don't care. You mean, and if you've got gray hair, you know that there'll be 4 black hairs doing this, with 7 gray hairs doing this, and you have 1 gray hair going, sticking straight up, and there's nothing you can do about it. So the same thing is true here, where I got that 1 gray hair that's annoying the crap out of me on the camera, but doesn't make it anything to do about it. Anyway, squirrel. Always something going on. Always, which is why programs like this are so important. Because what you need is a real people coming to you with the real stuff. What's actually happening. That's why we do this. That's why Paul and I do this. And that's why we get people like Jeff Dow, who came in a couple of days ago, to do this. We're not professionals, obviously, or to have somebody do something about this hair on my face. And get the makeup people in. Makeup. And they take care of it. So obviously I've got no makeup people. And real people bringing you stories that you are not getting in legacy media. You're just not hearing them. They're not talking about them. And these stories are out there. And they're out there, and I never bring them from some weird outside, out of hand sources. I bring them from fairly mainstream sources, and other people just aren't covering it. You're just not going to hear it on CNN. You're not going to hear it on the NBC Evening News or the CBS Evening News or the ABC Evening News. You're just not going to hear these things. You're just not. So it's important that you listen to, share, view as much independent conservative media as you can, as you possibly can. We appreciate it, and as much positive information about what's going on that gets out there, the better the chances are that we are returning our nation to something similar, or something that's more similar of what the founders had intended, and that's what our goal is. My friend Crist Hall has made an announcement yesterday, and I'm going to get in touch with her over the weekend and see if I can share that with you. If you are interested in Crist Hall, go to chrisannhall.com, chrisannhall.com. That's Chris with a K, KRISANNHALL.com, and check out my friend Crist Hall, because she is fabulous. All right, we're going to go a little break. We'll be back with the program right after these messages. So is it okay now, because it was, during the Trump administration, it is okay to talk about the president's...
yeah. We talked about mental health elderly, so let's talk about this guy's mental health.
The president's mental acuity, because there's sometimes where it seems to be lacking. Have you seen...
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's especially bad. I'm talking about sometimes it's like really bad. Like, have you seen the picture?
I was told not to take any questions.
I was told not to take any questions. They're going to be mad at me.
They're going to be mad at me.
Mr.
President, are you the president, or were you 5?
You see, what I want... See, the next question is... excuse me,
I was told to call on... What you call for NBC? Who's telling you to call on?
That's the question that we ought to be asking. Who's telling you this?
I mean, I don't understand why nobody won't ask that question.
Is Jen
This is the
Psaki
question.
actually the president?
Who's telling you to call on these people in the media?
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Probably so.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox, and a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to, but the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling. You take him for a friend.
There are many whites who act friendly toward Negroes. A fox acts friendly toward the lamb. And usually the fox is the one who ends up with the lamb chop on his plate. The wolf doesn't act friendly, and therefore the wolf has more difficulty in getting the lamb chop in his plate.
I'd like to point out, though, that...
And I say that because it is usually if you study the structure of the Negro community, economically, politically, civically, psychologically, and otherwise, it's controlled by the white liberal, who usually poses as the friend of the Negro.
On the other hand, I think one could point to a large number of whites who have struggled for civil rights, for equality, and have got little or nothing out of it. Other than quite a few bruises.
Give me an example.
Well, the large number of white students who have gone into the South, for example, working for SNCC and other organizations.
Not working for SNCC or other organizations, but working for the white political machines who benefit by the voting efforts of Negroes.
Okay. Today, you could point to a large number of Negro leaders who have consistently betrayed Negroes in a whole host of areas.
They aren't really Negro leaders. These are puppets that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. These are parrots that have been put in front of the Negro community by white liberals. You can't name me a Negro leader who has betrayed Negroes, who has not been endorsed, sanctioned, subsidized, and supported by the white liberals.
All right. Again, welcome back. We know that the big, sexy news story out there is the attack on Paul Pelosi in his home a couple of days ago. It's interesting that NBC, I don't know if they're having battles with, internal battles with consciousness or whatever, but they had a report out there on the attack on Paul Pelosi. Now, again, we hope and we pray that that Mr. Pelosi, who has been sent home from the hospital, recovers quickly and recovers fully and is made whole and finds Jesus. On Friday morning's episode of NBC's Today Show this morning, national correspondent Miguel Miguel reported new details from police on the break-in and assault of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul. The report was subsequently tweeted out by the official Today Show account and then quickly deleted, while a video clip on the Today Show's website was subsequently disabled. Well, here's what the NBC News explained. This is what Miguel said. This morning, Paul Pelosi came back at the house that became a crime scene a week ago. Today, NBC News learning new details about the moment police arrived, he reported. Sounds familiar with what unfolded in the Pelosi residence, now revealing what officers responded to the high priority call. They were seemingly unaware they had been called to the home of the Speaker of the House. It's strange that the dispatcher nor officers were aware that the call was from Pelosi or that the address they were headed for was the Speaker's residence, but not an earth-shattering revelation. But it just seemed weird that they didn't know. They know where she lives. And it wasn't okay. But then the report got weird. After a knock and announce, the front door was opened by Mr. Pelosi. The 82-year-old man did not immediately declare emergency or try to leave his home, but instead began walking several feet back into the foyer toward the assailant and away from the police. It's unclear if the 82-year-old was already injured or what his mental state was, said sources. Those details reported by NBC News appear directly contradictory to the sworn affidavit by FBI Special Agent Stephanie Minor, according to the affidavit signed by Minor. Here's what she said. She said, at 2:31, San Francisco Police Department, Officer Colby Wilms responded to the Pelosi residence, California, and knocked at the front door. When the door opened, Pelosi and DePape were both holding a hammer with one hand, and DePape had his other hand holding on to Pelosi's forearm. Now, that's what they said. Now, when they got there, they were in this death struggle. NBC just posted that when he got there, Pelosi opens the door and didn't declare an emergency and sort of backed away from the cops. So what's the difference in the details? Again, I'm going to say one more time because I want to make sure that all the folks at YouTube and Twitter and Facebook understand that if indeed Paul Pelosi was injured, we just pray that he is made whole. He's an 82-year-old man. He doesn't need all that. He just doesn't. And we pray that he is made whole and healthy as soon as possible. So why the difference in details? And why did NBC News report the new information from their sources without noting that it was seemingly contradictory to the government agents' statement of facts, only to try to deep six the report entirely? Weird, isn't it? Miguel's report for the Today Show continued by citing court documents that state, quote, when the responding officer was asked what was going on, the defendant smiled and said, everything's good. But instantaneously, a struggle ensued as police clearly saw David DePape strike Pelosi in the head with a hammer. Holy crap. Everything's good. But then a fight broke out, and DePape hit David DePape, the guy, the nutty fellow, hit Pelosi in the head with a hammer. Holy crap. Towards the end of this report, Miguel pointed to the obvious question: why didn't Pelosi try to flee or tell responding officers that he was in distress? It's unclear. Now, okay, so you're in a death struggle with somebody who's broken in your home, and the police show up, and you decide you're not at least going to get out there and get behind them and put the police between you and the bad guy. It's weird. It's weird. We are going to put up this clip from the Today Show, if indeed it's still here. Let's see if it's still here. It is still here. We're going to put this up on the fightbackmedia.com website. We're actually going to insert it into this thing here to see if see what you think about it. After trying to memory hole the report, NBC applied a strange note to the now unplayable videos page. The piece should not have aired because it did not meet NBC's news reporting standards. Which have been what? As some of Twitter pointed out, mainstream outlets reporting new information, then quietly trying to pretend they didn't report it, does not do much to assuage those who think that there's more to the story than is being explained. That's the point. The point is that, and we mentioned this a number of days ago, that legacy media has done so much to destroy the trust they may have had with the average American. And now it just seems that they are just making it worse. Every time they try to manipulate something, every time they go too far and have to backtrack, every single time, it destroys more and more trust. And simply calling people who don't believe what you say climate deniers, election deniers, all this other stuff, science deniers, because we don't believe you. It isn't that we don't believe in the science, we just don't believe you. It isn't that we don't believe in our election system, we just don't believe you. You get it? We just don't believe you anymore. We just don't believe the mainstream media. We don't believe the legacy media anymore. We just don't believe you. We don't trust you because we don't believe you're trustworthy. And that's really the point. We're not denying anything. We just don't believe you. And not believing legacy media is not a threat to the democracy. It is not. It is the best thing for the democracy to question, to force people to be trustworthy, to force them to be honest, to force the media, which is an integral part of our society and our institutions, to be forthwith. And to force them and to call them on their BS when we see it. That's important. To not do that and to simply take whatever they say as truth all the time, that's the real threat. That's the real threat to our republic. That's the real threat to democracy. We will break. We'll be back with more of the program right after these messages.
Well, hey everybody, my name is Willie Lawson, and you guys know that I do a lot of stuff on the internet, and you may think with what's happening on Twitter and what's happening on Facebook and what happened to Parler that the mainstream social media sources are really trying to rid themselves of conservative voices, and you'd be right. They most certainly are. But you know what? It isn't as bad as you think it is. It's worse. But there are people who are willing to be platformed for free speech. One of those places is freedomforum.website. Freedomforum.website. You can go there and speak your mind. So come join us. Enjoy the freedom. Enjoy the fun. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or a phone number. My florist is Blooming Days Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. TampaRadio.com. One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area. Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com, and you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report.
Hi, welcome back. Again, my name is Willie Lawson. This is the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. We trust that you are well this glorious, fantastic, amazing day. Because we want you to be good. We need you to be good. We need you to be good. You know, the more people say this or that about Kanye West, now I'm going to be completely transparent. I can't name one Kanye West song. First of all, it's not my era, not at all, and it's not my music. You know, Miles Davis is my music. John Coltrane is my music. Earth, Wind, and Fire is my music. You hear me? Ohio Players is my music. Kanye West? No, I was in my 30s and my 90s, in the 90s, and I just wasn't involved in the scene. And I'm still not involved in the scene. So, no, I am not somebody who goes, well, Kanye is a musical genius. I don't know if that's true. I kind of doubt it. I kind of doubt that Kanye West is Mozart. However, what I'm getting more and more sure of is that Kanye is not crazy. Kanye is his failure to the left is that he's out there telling the truth. That he may be broken to the sense that now he is out there telling the truth. Now, how long it's going to last, how long he's going to be able to keep doing it, I don't know. I don't have any idea. But he is dropped some nuggets. Now, could he have done it easier or better? Could he have not, stepped in it and let the left call him an anti-Semite? Yeah. Because there are some things in the world that you cannot be, and that's an anti-Semite. And why? Well, because of the history, the known history of the Jewish race. That's why. And you'll say, well, everybody's got rotten history, and everybody has skeletons in the closet, no matter what race you are. The Anglicans do, the Christians do, the Muslims do. Yeah, we do. The Buddhist, the Hindu. But you can't be an anti-Semite. You can't be thought of as anti-Semite. So this is something that is easily used against Kanye to discredit anything else he has to say. And he's being proven right. And this story that I'm about to relate is an example of that. Oprah Winfrey. Y'all remember Oprah? She jumped into the political fray this week when she endorsed Democrat Pennsylvania Senate candidate John Fetterman over her supposed longtime friend, Dr. Mehmet Oz. Winfrey issued her endorsement of Fetterman during a virtual town hall on Thursday. I said it was up to the citizens of Pennsylvania, Winfrey said. But I would tell y'all this. If I lived in Pennsylvania, I would have already cast my vote for John Fetterman for many reasons. Now, we know that Oprah Winfrey was a Barack Obama backer. And she came out on the stage after the election like she'd won the lotto. Of course, she's also backed several Democrats midterm candidates during Thursday's town hall, including Florida Representative Val Demings, surprise, surprise, Nevada Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, Raphael Warnock, Stacey Abrams, and Beto O'Rourke. That makes Oprah Winfrey a full-fledged leftist. Or is she? Or is she just protecting her empire? She says, use your discernment. We are, which seems to be missing in a lot of our country. Use your discernment and choose wisely for the democracy of our country. Sounds like something that was written for, doesn't it? Winfrey, who has a long history with Dr. Oz, largely stayed out of the Pennsylvania race, but endorsed Fetterman at the last minute, while current polls put them neck and neck. Why the last minute? Because they hope that enough Black people and Oprah fans still trust her enough to go along with her madness. Republican Dr. Oz maintains a slim advantage over Democrat John Fetterman in Pennsylvania's U.S. Senate race, according to a poll. Oz leads Fetterman by a margin of 48% to 46% among likely voters, sampled in Emerson College's poll released Thursday, days ahead of Tuesday's pivotal election. The poll, which the Hill sponsored, finds that 4% of likely voters are undecided, but Fetterman still trails Oz 48% to 47% when undecided leaners are accounted for. It's close. It's a razor thin thing. But I wanted to bring this up because what Kanye has said is that a lot of these people, including his ex-wife, are being forced to support particular views, particular ideologies, or they risk being destroyed. And a lot of people think that, well, Oprah can't be canceled. Well, you know what? Maybe she can. Maybe she can. Maybe she knows that. I'm not forgiving her. I'm not doing any of that. But every day, you know, Kanye is getting proved more correct every minute. To anything that you're actually paying attention. Yeah, I was on Twitter the other day and I saw a tweet that I had summarily ignored, that Charlie Crist was now leading in the polls against our governor, Ron DeSantis. There are a lot of, and I think we did a show on this, did a report on this, a lot of fake news sources out there that are all owned by the same people, all pushing the same fake stories from all, you know, that appear to be local entities when they are not, when they simply are not. And this was from one of them. The fact of the matter is that with less than 4 days to go before the midterm election, the race for the governor's seat in Florida is starting to heat up. The Civic Survey found that Governor Ron DeSantis is leading Democrat opponent Charlie Crist by 9 percentage points. 54% of voters say they plan to vote for Ron DeSantis, while only 45% claim that they are going to vote for Charlie Crist. The poll also found that DeSantis has improved among voter approval with a rating of 53%. His approval rating is 53%. Fortunately, Crist, on the other hand, has a 56 disapproval rating. If you've lived in Florida, what you know is that Charlie Crist is a snake, a chameleon, and will say anything to get elected. Anything to get elected. He will. Also, and this is why Oprah shows up in the Florida Senate race, it is Marco Rubio leading a poll of likely voters against Val Demings, 52% to 45%. That's out of 772 likely voters. And that was from the 29th of October to 2 days ago, the 2nd of November. The survey comes as Florida has become one of the freest states in the country after Democrats took over the White House. While DeSantis has promised to stay out of people's lives as much as possible, Crist, however, would do the opposite. He said so. In a viral video, Crist was caught saying that he would enact a statewide mask mandate should officially recommend it. I would be open to doing what the scientists advise, not political scientists. Crist added, I'm going to the airport right now. After this, I'm going to Orlando. I'm going to wear a mask on the plane. My view, Hi, I'm Willie Lawson. My view is that a large number of people who are still wearing their masks are wearing them for political reasons. What do you think? Write that down in the comments. What do you think? I believe that a lot of people who are still wearing masks, not everybody, but a large number of people are doing it for political theater. They are simply deciding they're not going to listen to any of the science. They're not going to participate in any of the so-called freedom that we're experiencing because they have a problem with the politics involved, and they are simply wearing their mask to let everybody know what side they're lining up on. Again, it isn't everybody. Some people are deciding that wearing a mask is something that's good for their mental health because they feel covered up and they feel concealed even when they're in public. Yeah, y'all need counseling. I ain't wrong. I ain't being mean, but you need counseling. Some people who are susceptible to disease feel safer in their mask because they're hoping that the mask catches whatever, if it's COVID or if it's flu, if it's whatever. So some of them, and I think I really believe that's the smallest of the percentage of people who are still wearing their masks. So when Chris says he's going to wear a mask on the airplane, although while he's given this speech, he's not wearing his mask, and hardly is anybody in the room. Governor DeSantis says that he will strive to keep Florida free. We're going to carry this torch of freedom onward because our mission is very simple. We are keeping the state of Florida free, the governor said during a campaign ad. Yes. It's so much, in fact, and it's going so well, in fact, that Governor DeSantis' campaign knocked on 2 million doors this election cycle. That is some excitement built up for the DeSantis campaign. The DeSantis campaign knocked on an historic 2 million doors across the Sunshine State this election cycle. The accomplishment formally announced Friday, days ahead of the Florida election, serves as a testament to the mass grassroots initiatives and enthusiasm seen across the state in the weeks leading up to the election. According to the campaign, staffers and volunteers have knocked on 2 million doors this election cycle, spreading the word on DeSantis' leadership and devotion to keep Florida free. Free from coronavirus mandates, woke indoctrination in schools, efforts to defund law enforcement, and failed democratic economic policies championed by the president, as well as his ally, Charlie Crist, who is challenging the governor. Notably, Crist recently gushed profusely over President Biden, who stumped for him and the Sunshine State this week, referring to the 79-year-old president as both ageless and timeless and clueless. We are seeing such an overwhelming enthusiasm because of the policies and accomplishment we've been able to deliver to the people of Florida, DeSantis said in a statement following the historic news. We have ensured parental rights in education, and if you want to read that bill, it's all of 7 pages, and it is on the fightbackmedia.com website. Provided the largest tax relief package in the state history, kept our community safe, and restored our Everglades and natural resources. We've achieved so much in the past 4 years for Florida. We have only just begun. Together, we will keep Florida free. The news comes on the heels of Florida's First Lady, Casey DeSantis, announcing the mobilization of 1.1 million moms via her Mamas for DeSantis initiative, which he launched over the summer. The original goal was to get 1 million moms, aspiring moms, grandmoms, as well as everyone to sign up in support of the governor. Casey DeSantis said at the time. She added that support would show that if you have a backbone, you stand up for what you're in your heart, what you know in your heart is right. If you don't read the headlines, you're just guided by principle, and people will have your back. And in this week, that organization surpassed its goal. Casey DeSantis tweeted the following: I am proud to announce that we have exceeded our million mama goal. As of today, we have signed up 1.1 million mamas for DeSantis. At Ron DeSantis, Florida has held the line for us. And now it's time to show up and vote and re-elect America's governor. So what this shows to me is that doing retail politicking is really the deal. Going out there, knocking on doors, ringing doorbells, handing people slate cards, asking them if they voted already. Asking if they have any questions about the candidate. Do you have any questions that we can answer? If you're undecided, if you're undecided, why are you undecided? Do you have any questions? Is there some things that I can send you to some links so you can research them yourself? Yes, it's old school. It doesn't have to do with someone sitting in their basement and tweeting stuff and commenting on. It has to do with getting face to face and showing people that I am a supporter of this person right here. I'm someone who's from here. I live in the next neighborhood over, and I'm supporting this person. That means an awful lot. That means everything a lot of times. Not people who, we can always use the help, obviously, but not people who come in from other states to campaign for other people, who aren't your neighbors, who aren't people aren't people in your community. So when people from your community knock on your door and say, "Hey, my name is Willie Lawson, and I am working for the Ron DeSantis campaign, and I wanted to make sure that you are going to vote on November 8th, that you know where your polling place is, and ask for your support for our governor, America's governor." It's pretty good, huh? That's how you win. And I think that, again, I'm a Florida State fan, so I have to wait. I got to wait until we get to zeros on the scoreboard before I can declare victory. And I'm going to do that. Polls look good. Everything looks great on paper. But you know what? I'm going to have to wait until the clock reads 0, 0, colon 00. No time left on the clock to declare victory. I'm confident. I'm happy. But we'll have to see. My name is Willie Lawson. This has been The Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.